Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about Peak Design's brand new outdoor line. Peak Design has definitely been busy this year with an update to their travel line, the recently released X-Pack collection, and now this new collection, which features a couple of new products including a large backpack, a day pack, sling bag. In this video I'm going to be sharing the 25-liter day pack, which I've been testing out for a little while now, and it's been interesting to see something pretty different from the Peak Design aesthetic and layouts that I'm used to. So, really excited to share it. Before jumping in, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, to me this definitely feels like a bag that is ready to go into the outdoors, so it's got more of a technical vibe, plenty of straps, attachment points along the exterior, the roll top opening, so just really functional, but it still maintains Peak Design's sleek design language, so it looks different from some of their other bags, but it still feels like a Peak Design product and something that's going to be versatile enough to not only work in the outdoors, but in an urban setting and also for traveling. As far as the materials, the bag feels really solidly built. This exterior fabric feels different from some of the Kodra nylons that they've used in their everyday line, but still something that looks very rugged. It's got kind of a ripstop nylon appearance. It also feels like it's going to offer plenty of weather resistance and just be able to handle all of the elements well. Beyond that, you just have really nice, solid feeling materials all throughout with the meshes that are used, aluminum hardware, all of the cords, and then some really smooth working zippers all around the bag. Continuing along the outside of the bag, you have two really nice external water bottle pockets. The style here feels a little more traditional, I guess I would say, than some of Peak Design's other bags. They always do great water bottle pockets, but it feels like they typically have some of the same fabric as the exterior, so these are just a more kind of straight up mesh pocket, which is going to make them very flexible. You're going to be able to handle a larger water bottle very easily. You can see that it swallows up my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler comfortably. This will also work well with Peak Design's mobile tripod. It'll just slide in there, and so great to have these on both sides, and with the elasticity that's provided, they kind of hug the bag nicely when they're not in use. And then on the front, you have the Peak Design branding. I like the colorways here. The version that I have is the black version of the bag. It's also offered in a couple of different options, and here you have kind of the coyote or gold color on the logo, some accent marks on the stitching and the zipper pulls. And then at the top of the bag, you have a pretty nice handle here. It doesn't go overboard. It's not quite the same as some of the leather accented handles on their everyday line. So a little bit smaller, but still easy to grab the bag when needed. It feels durable, just not maybe quite as cushioned because it's thin. If you try to hold the bag for a longer period of time, I could see there being some fatigue there. And then along the exterior of the bag, a lot of different attachment points that are meant to pair with some straps that Peak Design includes with the bags. This is pretty common on a lot of their travel and everyday bags. I've always been a fan of the fact that they provide a lot of different ways that you can use straps to attach things along the front of the bag, along the sides, great for tripods, for jackets, for anything larger that doesn't fit inside of the bag. And they really are nicely integrated here. They feel pretty subtle. And then the straps themselves that are included with the bag are a pretty cool system, a little bit different than what we've seen with some of their other straps, but still just maintaining that versatility, and you can remove them if you don't want to use them. One last thing to note while we're talking about the exterior is that this isn't a bag that's going to stand up super well on its own, and this has always tended to be the case with some of the more outdoor focused bags that I've used, so just wanted to mention it. And then moving into the capacity, this version of the bag comes in at about 25 liters, which I'm generally a big fan of. It's a versatile size that is able to hold most of the items that I would normally carry with me on my day-to-day, and it still feels like it gives you a little bit of extra space if you have a longer day, if you're going on a hike and you have to bring some extra stuff. And then I like that it doesn't feel overwhelmingly big when it's packed out. And even when this bag is a little fuller, as with Peak Design bags in general, it manages to maintain a pretty sleek and slim profile, which is going to make it great for navigating crowded areas, jumping onto public transit, and carrying onto a variety of domestic and international airlines. Taking a look at the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. This was something I was very excited to see, as in general, I haven't always been as crazy about Peak Design's harness systems. They've made improvements over the years, but this one feels like another nice step forward. The padding that's included here feels robust, but really comfortable, soft right out of the box. On the inside, you have a nice kind of breathable feeling fabric, and then the straps also have a nice width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. And then here at the top of the straps, you do have some openings that you can use to, pass through a bladder if you're carrying a hydration bladder. And then you'll have a couple of attachment points here where you can hang your sunglasses. And then you have elastic mesh pocket here on the strap that you can use to hold accessories, maybe place your phone in here as well. And then there's also a way here to attach some of Peak Design's kind of camera clips. So if you have the clip here and you attach your camera, you can get to it easily. I don't tend to use those accessories as much, but great to see that that has been kind of thought of and incorporated here. And you also have a nice adjustable sternum strap that is going to help distribute the weight. You can also remove this. It's interesting that it has the dual sort of clips here, so you can really kind of configure this in the way that you need and make sure that you have the support that you'll want while you're wearing this when it's a little bit more loaded out. And then speaking of support, at the bottom you have the ability to add and remove a waist belt that's sold separately, I believe. It's a really nice waist belt as far as the padding that it offers. You can configure it in two different ways depending on how far out you want the waist belt to come. And then, yeah, it just feels comfortable. It does feel like it takes some of that weight off of your shoulders. And then it's really nice that you can fully remove it if you prefer not to use it, as is usually the case for me with this size of bag. And then moving into the back paneling, this has also felt really comfortable. Big improvements here. I definitely hope to see something like this coming in other Peak Design bags in the future. So just great, robust padding that's well distributed all throughout. It's also a nice amount of elevation to create an air channel here to provide you with some ventilation while you're walking around throughout the day. And you also have that same breathable mesh that we saw on the straps. So, just really comfortable to wear even when it's loaded out, as I've been wearing it for a longer period of time. Jumping into the organizational options, you have a couple of nice zippered quick access pockets on the front, one on each side. So this middle section is kind of divided into two. So these are oriented with a vertical zipper, which is great. So you can swing the bag around and access what you need easily. And it's great that you have one on each side. So whether you're righty or you're lefty, or however you swing the bag around, this will have something that you can access. And then you have these really tactile, great zipper pulls here. On one side, I just have my sunglasses with their case that fits in there comfortably. You have a good amount of volume here. So even for something a little bit larger, there'll be enough space. And then in one of the compartments, you have a lanyard with a little clip that's gonna be a good spot for your keys or maybe a flashlight. And you do have the ability to move this in either pocket. This is something that you can untether and then move it to the other side depending on where you want to keep your keys. And so that's one of the pockets. On the other side, same capacity pretty much. And in this one, I have a headlamp from Sandmark, which I've really been enjoying as of late. I also have my AirPods and a charging cable for my tablet and my phone. And then at the top of the bag, you have a pretty interesting new system here. It has this elastic band and loop that are meant to allow you to quickly open this section up, and then you have a deep kind of kangaroo style pocket here. And so this is a larger open space that's going to be able to handle things like jackets or maybe tripods, a water bottle, place a water bladder in here. And so lots of different use cases for kind of a large open space like this. At the moment, I just have the Rainfly that Peak Design is going to be releasing to pair with this lineup. So this will give you some extra protection from the elements if you need it. And then I also have my alpaca admin pouch here, but really just a nice amount of capacity. And so because of the bands here, you do have some flexibility with how much you can hold. And then this area contains a couple of those webbing attachment points that can pair with the straps that I was mentioning earlier. So again, just offering a lot of flexibility with how you can use these. They attach here, you can remove them, you can clip on additional accessories with the carabiner. You have, these gussets here that do provide some elasticity. And so pretty interesting system. The only concern that I have with it is that there doesn't really seem to be any sort of drainage in this area. So if you happen to get caught in some rain and you're not using the Rainfly, if you don't have this very tight or you have something larger in here, I can see a world where there would be water pooling on the bottom here. So it might have been good to have some drainage, or maybe just something to kind of secure it a little bit better. I guess that's the point of the rain fly, but you know, that was something that I was thinking about as I was first starting to use this. Regardless though, still a nice kind of flexible area, and then when you want to close it, you pull on this strap here, and that'll tighten everything up. And that's another thing that I wasn't as crazy about with this system, is just that this part of the band here, when you're closing it, it works very quickly. So this is actually quite cool. You open it, get to what you need, quickly close it, and so this all works very smoothly. But then you just have this band that's just kind of floating in the back, so it looks a little bit messy. And I'd also be worried if I'm in the outdoors and, you know, around trees or branches or anything like that, that this could potentially get snagged. So, you know, I kind of have wanted to tuck it away into the compartment, and so it would have been great to see maybe just some management there for this, some way to roll it up or attach it to the bag to avoid those issues. So something to think about for future iterations. But the system itself here works pretty smoothly. It's an interesting idea. It took me a little while to kind of figure out how everything was working, because there are a lot of straps, so it can also just feel a little bit technical, and you know, things can get a little disoriented, particularly when you pair it with the roll top. So that's the next thing I want to talk about here is, you know, you do use this flap to kind of compress this down, and then if you want to access the bag from the top, you do have a roll top opening, and this has a magnetic closure on the opening. It's a pretty strong magnet here, which is great to see. And then you can access whatever you need from the top of the bag. This also comes up, so if you're carrying a little bit more, you know, that's one of the things with roll tops. But you know, if you do expand it all the way to the top, you want to make sure that there's nothing super bulky, because then the magnet might open, or, you know, roll tops in general are not something that I'm always as crazy about, and this is some of the reasons why. It's tricky to implement these systems, I think, in a way that is super easy to use, but they do provide some flexibility. And so this one, you know, when you're done using it, if you're not carrying as much stuff, you can roll it in, and then when you tighten this flap up, it really helps keep it in place. And you release that, open it, and as I was saying, you get back into the magnet. The bag does also allow you to open clamshell style. So if you rest this on the front, you have a zipper that comes all the way around and allows you to see into the main section. And so again, 25 liters of capacity, really nice open space here. Before jumping into that, on the back, you do have a sleeve that's included. That's gonna be a good spot to place a hydration bladder, but it can also hold a 14-inch MacBook Pro pretty comfortably. And this is actually pulled up off the bottom of the ground. So even though this isn't a padded sleeve, it's just more of a slip pocket, it will offer a little bit of protection if you happen to drop your laptop in. It also has this nice elastic band to help keep your device secure when you place this down. Fully open, it'll prevent it from sliding out. And so, you know, nice to have that there even on a more outdoor focused bag. And then coming back to the main compartment, you know, nice amount of space here, pretty simple layout. Definitely meant to pair with Peak Design's expansive ecosystem of accessories. So they have camera cubes, they have packing cubes, they've released new style of packing cubes. Here I have some of the items from the most recent travel line updates. So they have these new ultralight packing cubes that have kind of a mesh material. They're very flexible, which is great. And then they have attachment points, so you can wear them as a sling if you want to. They're offered in a bunch of different sizes. I did a video on these if you want to check them out. Then I also have the Peak Design small tech pouch, which was part of that travel update as well. Just, you know, really great smaller tech pouch. I don't have as much stuff in here at the moment, especially for more of an outdoor setup. And then I was able to place my Beat Studio wireless headphones at the top. And I also have the larger Peak Design compressible packing cube, which is kind of my go-to just to showcase the space here. But this section would also pair well with Peak Design's camera cubes. I don't actually have one of those to test out, but you know, I have used other similar camera cubes from Wandered, from Moment, and any of those that have different ways that you can access the camera cube will work here. When you place your bag down, open your cube flat, there are attachment points on the inside here that you can also use to secure the camera cube if you need to. And I know that some of Peak Design's cubes have top access to the camera cube, so if you place one near the top, you can access it via the roll top, or if you're placing your bag down, if you have a lot of gear, you can do so as well. And then if you don't want to use it for camera stuff, this type of a layout is always just going to be very flexible. It's going to offer a nice amount of space, simpler layouts, even on, more kind of compact bags or 25-liter bags. It feels like it can hold more. So, really like the simplicity here. I think that it works well. I like the fact that you can open this up fully flat or access it via the roll top. And in general, I think this is a really interesting new lineup from Peak Design. A lot of kind of different stuff here compared to what I've seen from their bags in the past. Looks very cool. Absolutely love the harness system. And so, if you're looking for a sleek outdoor adventure bag that can handle your camera gear, then this is going to be a really interesting option to check out. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty great experience testing out the new 25-liter Daypack from Peak Design. At the time of filming, the Kickstarter for the outdoor collection should be live, and I'll include a link to it in the description below if you want to learn more about the 25-liter Daypack or pick one of these up. This will also include information on the other items in the outdoor collection, and as with many Kickstarters, I'm imagining that there'll be some promotional pricing so you can grab these at a bit of a discount if you get them during the Kickstarter. And if you want to check out some of Peak Design's other products, I definitely recommend taking a look at the comparison video that I did recently for the everyday backpack compared with the everyday zip backpack. I'm a big fan of both of those bags. They're still just really capable, both photography and EDC kind of tech bags. Great build quality, lots of functionality. They've always been some of the most full-featured bags. They have the dual external water bottle pockets, the really flexible internal layout with the adjustable dividers. With the zip backpack, I'm a big fan of that as it has a more kind of traditional clamshell style layout, which I tend to like. But both of their bags are going to offer great build quality, lots of versatility, and are just going to be great flexible bags. In addition to those, this reminded me of some of Wandered's offerings. I'm a big fan of the Provoke backpack. I've talked about that for a long time now. It's got, like this one, a little bit more of a roll top opening. It's got a very rugged feel. You can open it clamshell style, good laptop protection, and Wandered also has a good ecosystem of camera focused accessories. So if you're going into the outdoors or kind of doing more adventure type activities and you want something that feels very rugged, the Provoke line is definitely going to be worth considering. And then the last options that I'll mention here are Moments Everywhere collection. I absolutely love the 28-liter Weekender backpack that I had a chance to test out. Moment has a great ecosystem of cubes that pair with the bag, so you can turn it into a camera bag, but it still looks kind of like an everyday minimal bag, which I definitely like. It's got a great layout, good laptop protection. It still feels rugged enough to take into the outdoors, but it might just be a little bit more of a crossover pack that you can also use, for walking around the city, for traveling, for taking into the office. And so, great flexibility there. They have a great tech pouch and things like that. So if you want something with a more subdued aesthetic, I definitely recommend checking those out. With that being said, the new outdoor line from Peak Design feels like a really great addition to their expansive lineup of gear. I've really enjoyed using the 25-liter Daypack, although the layout and style aren't the type of thing that I would normally use. If I was looking for a more outdoor focused pack that could still handle some of the accessories that Peak Design provides, I think this is going to be a really great option. I'm excited about the harness system in particular. As I mentioned during the video, I hope to see this in more of their bags. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think about the new outdoor line and how some of these bags compare to some popular, camera and outdoor focused bags that are currently on the market. If there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Peak Design for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.